we're ever in a situation where we're not rolling out a certain sort of cultural circus, then we're not doing our job properly.
What? And welcome to round 6 of pool play at the Australian Mixed Ultimate Championships of 2018. We are live on the Ultimate Frisbee Australia YouTube channel from Mighty Bush Reserve down in Sebastopol, one of the regions of Ballarat in Victoria. Simon Talbot here, joined by Cron Hudson.
G'day Simon, how you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. And we've got an absolute cracker of a match up here. Bit of a grudge match between CAF from Sydney in the black and VLS in the white, also from Sydney.
That's right. There's a lot of excited energy here. It's pretty calm. Seems to be a lot of friendship between these two teams. Looks to be a corker.
Yeah, conditions are perfect for Ultimate. The wind's died right off. The skies are a bit overcast, so there's no sun glare. So straight away, Ogden gets started and sends it deep, looking immediately for Andy Wood in the end zone. Forrest is there to contest it, and Wood brings it down.
Goodness me, what a grab.
And just like that, within seconds, first goal is scored for the game, and CAF draw first blood.
That's right, Andy Wood, first nationals in at least a year and a half, I believe. Good to see him out there playing against an old friend, Martin Forrest. There's a call on the play though. Seems.
Already? What have we called?
We've called a travel, I assume.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and they're going to Ruben to make sure continuation isn't on. Seems that's come back.
Yeah. So, yeah, well,
may have sconned him one there.
that's what he gets for making that call. So,
yeah.
So it seems that Ogden is called for dragging his pivot forward on the throw. So the disc has been called back. So the goal will not stand.
Wonder if he'll go for it again.
Yeah,
I'd
I
like
reckon.
to see it.
Do it again. No, just plays it safe this time.
Yeah.
Resets to 1. Ewan. Breakthrow inside to Swan. Another breakthrow. Ogden with the one-handed grab. Yep. So CAF have got set their stack centrally.
It's very deep.
In the end zone. There's been an injury call already. I think Ruby Blackwell's having to sort of come off the field for. I think she just maybe got her foot stood on and just wants to have a breather. So she's subbed out. So Ogden will restart with the disc with a stall count of just 1. So CAF has set their stack pretty deep at the disc, which is why they're off screen. But Swan shoots deep, looking for Morma, but goes too far. I think we should have let the original play stand. Cron.
Yeah, I feel like that's what CAF would have preferred, rather than coming out and playing D on their first offensive point.
Yep. So
we've got Martin Forrest, picking up the disc.
Yeah.
And it seems they're also coming out in the vert straight away.
Yeah, playing in the centre of the field too, giving them both sides, basically 2 lanes of the field to cut into. But Visor, he's gone deep. Linus winds up, sends the backhand. That's a high floaty. There's got to be numbers under it. I think Swan's going to have a bid. He's going to float close to the boundary. Visor comes down with it.
Excellent grab.
Right on the sideline.
Great use of body. Great box.
Yep. He's got a couple of options wide. Goes wide and straight into the hands.
Julia Sprague picked that one off. Says, thank you, I'll take that.
Ogden sends the backhand up this time, looking for Andy Wood again. Wood versus Forrest once more. Wood and Forrest comes straight over the top. I think he just had a better run of that.
Excellent read. And he got caught a little bit under the disc there, Wood, and lost it, I think.
Yeah.
Forrest comes up with an excellent block.
Forrest
blasted up the sideline.
Visor runs right on the sideline here. That's Julianne Lamb.
Forrest would boom this. He's boomed it straight away. That's a great throw.
Kaya Wea. Oh, sorry. Kirsten Murray.
Murray with the grab, with the goal.
And all of a sudden, bit of a turnaround where we thought that CAF drew first blood immediately. VLS instead opened the game with a break. And that's 1-0.
You'd be happy with that. It's VLS. Complete turnaround. You thought he'd been scored on.
Yeah.
Started with a break.
And of course, these two teams playing for an imaginary trophy.
That's right, Simon. This is part of the Beverage Cup, as they call it, these teams. And I believe inside of tournaments, CAF has never won the Beverage Cup. So it's with VLS. Yeah. And VLS has opened their account with a break, so that's got to be a good start. That's good omen for the Beverage Cup.
Yeah, the most recent iteration of the Beverage Cup was at the New South Wales State Championships in the final, the game to go, as it's called, the 5th place qualification, where CAF had a 5-1 start, but VLS pegged it back to win 9-8 and win the automated qualification spot. And so CAF ended up, they've qualified in a wild card for this tournament, so they definitely want to come hard at VLS. And so even though it's late in the day, both teams are very energetic, very up and about.
Winchester with the pull there.
Great pull, puts it back in the end zone.
Chodos picks it up. You got Bella C on the disc.
Bit of a wobbly throw to Bella there, but
Hallie Christie stops under.
Swan.
Both teams seem to be wanting to set up their stacks very deep and still not afraid to lash it. That one's going to work out. Chodos on the ends on the door here of their first score. Christie looking for, and she scored a goal. Minescu.
That's
Laura Minescu, ex-Blue Bottle, 2013 vice captain.
Seems like a bit of a crowd. I'm hearing a lot of car horns behind us.
People
Feels
are excited.
We are at Marty Bush, a country footy oval, home of Sebastopol Footy Club, so it feels like a very country footy atmosphere with the car horns on the sideline.
It does feel like that, Simon. It's a beautiful place, in my opinion. Ballarat, Sebastopol, surrounding areas. Underrated in their beauty. Bit cold. Gets a bit of a stern time for that.
And so early on from both teams, I've seen some big shots. I think a lot of nervous energy early on in this game.
I think you've nailed that one there, Simon.
So,
That's a great call.
So both teams playing with just a classic vertical stack set up in the centre, and just it's going to be a battle of athleticism and throws more so than tactics and strategy.
Yeah, I agree. I would like to see some Horo. I'm a big fan of Horo myself.
Yeah.
I think quite often I say to people, I think Vert is inferior. So we'll see what they come out with here. Not always, obviously.
Yeah.
But I do prefer it. Looks like M. Hodgson with the pull.
Yeah.
This should be good. M coming off a successful campaign with Colony at the World Ultimate Club Championships, getting a silver medal there.
Excellent pull there. Put them deep in their own end zone. And Rock and
Josh Burns working the disc with Rock.
Bub. Yeah, go short. Great grab by Rock.
It's going to go.
Sends it deep, looking for.
Just didn't quite have the shape on it there. That was a great option. Throw was completely on, but unfortunately sat it just within the reach of the defender.
Yeah, was looking for Ross Smith there deep, but James Happ got his hand up, and it was a very flat throw.
It was very flat.
But yeah, and Happ's gone deep. Hodgson's looking for him, and another one-on-one battle between these two. It looks like Happ's going to get the better of this one. Smith coming underneath. It goes up high.
Oh, great contest.
Gets a hand on it, yeah.
M. Hodgson had nothing else in mind just then. He absolutely wanted to lash that, and he said, here we go.
Yeah.
Put it up on a platter.
Yeah, the Smith versus Happ battle. I think it's 1-1 now. I think we'll see a bit more of that one-on-one battle throughout
Going
this game.
toe-to-toe in the Beverage Cup.
So you see the replay there. It looks like, Smith just got enough of a finger in there just to put it off balance.
Shepherd combines with Burns.
Stuck happening very short. Burns is off. He's gone. He is deep, but Shepherd can't get the throw out to him, so he hits the break side to Rock.
Burns charging under.
Bub with a free shot. Rock's got a free shot at the end zone. Sends it up deep, looking for Krista Shen, but she had to pull up, and
Alice C. stepped inside and said, not today.
yeah.
Gotta have to do better than that.
Yeah, I think Shen had to pull up because the disc was just going to come, wasn't going to make it all the way to her. But yeah, Bella C just took the extra step.
CAF still looking for their first score here. A lot of turns in the offense. Broken first point as well. It's a great cutting pattern there.
Yeah, Hap gets the under.
Great use of space by CAF.
Big swing out to Swan. Swan, no reset, doesn't bother him though.
They've really pushed their stack to the side and still very deep. Seems to be working at the moment though. M says, I'll have another shot, thanks. That's a great bid. Just made sure of it.
Yep. Great defense there by Shen.
Excellent. And then a high five from our opposition. Bit of pick called on the play. Ruben's walking to the centre of the field, see if he's needed.
Yeah.
The discussion.
My feeling is that the result of that play will stand because the thrower and the cutter, their respective defenders, didn't change what they did as a result of the stoppage. So
I'd say you're right, Simon. I'd say that from here, it seems like the logical conclusion to this, but we'll see how it works out. Ruben hasn't jumped in yet. He's listening intently.
the opinions that matter, though, are those of the players. They're responsible for governing the game. The rules. Looks like the call is going to stand, and it is going to come back to the thrower. So Ruben Berg, game advisor in the green shirt, he just is there to facilitate the conversation. He does not make binding decisions. So the disc will come back to Hodgson. Best thing to do in this situation, Connor, is just to throw the exact same throw again. Opposition won't expect it. No,
it's right up the line cut. It's a floppy Jalopstein coming out of the hand there.
Swan about 35 from goal.
I'd say Cat's going to need to use the width of this field a bit more. Unless
yeah, high stall count.
High stall count. Stall out has been called by the mark. Swan is considering whether... Yeah, he's called a stall out as well. Uncontested stall out. So it's going to go back to where the thrower was when they launched that one, as the mark got to the T of 10 before it was thrown. And then players will resume moving once it's tapped.
Yeah, the Cats dried up very, very quickly there, and all of a sudden Swan was left without any options, didn't have a reset, and just...
Lost track of time. All of a sudden was up.
Tried to just punt it to try and gain some yards, but didn't get the disc away in time, so... Chance for VLS to set up, setting up the vertical stack.
Chance for back-to-back breaks to start the game as well. Yeah. Rock with the disc. Hits Shepherd in the middle, straight to Burns.
Smith.
Rob the defender there did a great job to stop the around as it comes back into the cram hole over here to the fore side.
Everyone very, very close in the offense.
Yeah.
They need to start cutting into some space, but yeah, they're going to continue. Edgar now puts it out the side, and Hap just got a fingertip to it, but
unfortunately, another one of those "I wish I caught my D" moment.
Smith claims that one.
Yeah,
and that's a 2-1 to. Sorry, 2-0. Was it?
2-0.
2-1. No, sorry, 2-0. Yep, you're right, Con. Very long day so far. Apologies, viewers, but no, that one-on-one battle between Smith and Hap was the story of that point. They both got one good end zone block on each other, and continue to mark each other for the entirety of that point. But then Smith had that deep cut, and the throw from Bub had to go around, and Hap got a fingertip to it, but not enough to knock it off course.
Just accidentally swatted into the breadbasket, unfortunately. There's starting to be a bit of a disparity between the energy of the teams here, which is not what you want early in the game. Still a lot to be played, and Cats got a lot to give. Got a lot of good players as well. Yeah. See if they can dig themselves out of this slow start here. VLS going up 2 breaks. Martin Forrest will pull the disc to put it into play. And we have 4 men. 3 women on at the moment. The new gender rules in play.
So prescribed gender ratio. So rather than any team having a particular choice, you'll play 2 points with 4 women on the field and 2 points with 2 men on the field. The game advisor's helping teams keep track of that. So Chodos.
Kind of like how tiebreaker works in tennis.
Nice wide backhand break to Wood. He's got Minescu deep, but can't get the throw off, so heads back to Chodos. Not many cuts coming towards Chodos. He hasn't got a reset next to him, but
that's daggered into the ground, unfortunately. It's CAF not being amazingly efficient with their space at the moment, finding it really hard to get some flow on offense.
I think everyone's trying to do everything. Just need to put a bit more trust in your teammates and just trust that they'll get an initial thing happening. Great wide throw, looking for Winchester, is it?
Winchester, huge break to start that offensive.
But lands very, very heavily.
Most of his body was out of the field. I think he may have hurt himself, unfortunately.
Yeah, he's...
It may have just knocked the wind out of him.
Yeah. So he's going to throw again. Jeez, he had to give everything to get there, but I think He landed infield, but
he landed just across the line. Yeah.
yeah, but didn't control the disc on the way down, and yeah, landed very heavily.
So he's been replaced by Day.
Yeah, oh yeah, a very heavy landing. I think just knocked the wind out of him. He'll take a bit of a breather.
Yeah,
but
he's sitting up. I think he'll be right as rain in a couple of minutes. Andy with the initiating cut. Andy Wood. Swing to Chodos.
oh, that
Wood
was
under
close.
now. I was worried about the pressure from the incoming Martin Forrest, so he thought he had to bid, and unfortunately,
I think Wood just heard the footsteps and thought he had to change course and try and catch it. And couldn't get a clean hand to it, so
tried to make sure of it and made it difficult, I think.
oh, great poaching there by Ogden. Causes Murray to lose her footing, so has to go back to Forrest.
Poachy defense look here from Caff late in the offensive position.
Visor around the end zone, dishes it straight in to Caroline Tanis.
And that'll do.
Yeah, it was good discipline offense there by VLS. Like, even though they were 1 metre from the goal line, they were willing to concede about 10 metres in order to get the disc on the far side of the field, change your angle of attack. Yeah, nice. Tanis finding space in when there wasn't much available.
Yeah, it was a short dagger to score the goal, but it was enough.
Scoring ugly, still scoring.
Scoring ugly, still scoring, that's right.
Yep.
So VLS with another pull. Caff will look to play offense. We've got a 4-men point.
And VLS, those of us who watched the game this morning, their defensive pressure is amazing. They really just allow a lot of sideways and backwards movement and just put pressure on anything downfield, and just hope that their opposition gets impatient and takes a shot that they wouldn't normally take on offense. So it's Bennett with his hand up, ready to pull.
Seems to be effective thus far. Caff's ready to receive the disc.
Nice pulls. Not quite going to land in the end zone, but it'll give them a disc of about 50 to go to the goal. But they got enough time to get down there and stop a first easy pass.
They've come out in a horror, which excites me greatly. Chodos with the line strike. He's a shooter, this young man.
Reverse line strike, it looked like.
Definitely a reverse line strike.
Cutters are all sitting stationed very deep. Handlers are going to be left abandoned here if they're not careful, but Swan gets the easy reset. And looks like
foul's being called. He did use a bit of body there, but I think it seemed to be 50-50.
I think
from where we are.
Is that a foul call on the offense?
Offensive foul called. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, I think Visor there. Sorry, is it? Yeah, Visor. I think arguing that Swan, sort of pushed off him to get open, and no, might have, maybe not. Who knows? It's hard to sort of judge these things in the heat of the battle, because it certainly wouldn't have been an intentional move. Sometimes players just maybe put their arm there to sort of balance or guard themselves.
Yeah, they were both involved in using their bodies in that play there. And whether or not Rob overstepped the bounds, it's unclear. So they've gone to Ruben.
Yeah.
Ruben's most likely going to just clarify the distinction in the rule here.
Yep. Just help facilitate the discussion there. The players can also ask the game advisor what they saw. So it's not up to the game advisor to decide, saying, I think that was a foul. The game advisor will just describe what they saw. It seems that, the foul's going to be withdrawn, so the disc will stay with Swan, coming in on the store count of 0.
Offense is in a bit of a state here. Big break to get the disc moving.
It's to Magni.
To C with the disc on the far sideline. Chodos. Magni striking to the end zone. Big boom. And it's enough. That's a great body by Magni.
He's taken the grab, but there has been a call in the meantime. A lot of other players have stopped, and I think that an injury call had been made prior to the throw.
Seems Yulia Sprague has caught an injury.
We're learning a lot about the rules already here, Cron. So
we are learning a lot about the rules.
Offensive fouls, we've seen picks, and this time we're going to be seeing
another injury.
An injury call on the player, which means that the player is obligated to leave the field. If an injury call is made as a result of a collision, they can just take the time to sort of recover and find themselves. But if it's not the result of a collision, the player is obligated to leave the field. So
That's right. And if VLS wanted to, they could opt to also trade one player. But they haven't in this case. Calf swaps out Sprague for Morma. Chodos hits Magni under. What
Magni
could have
wants
been a
it
goal.
deep. Yep. Magni got impatient there and threw it straight into the path of Fisher Day there.
Bit frustrated by having his goal taken away from him, maybe. Break inside. Excellent throw. Magni's on the ground.
Magni defending from any way he can.
Omani with the disc under. It's great to see an Irish lad out here tearing up Australian mixed nationals.
Bennett, he's got a free shot at the end zone, but chooses not to take it.
He doesn't have a fill currently.
Yeah. Goes cross
Hits
field.
visor under.
Day has to go up high. He's going to have to take a second go at this, but
Unfortunately bobbled that out of bounds. The second go wouldn't have helped.
so CAF are going to have the disc. Rob Swan will collect it, and it'll be about 55 minutes from goal. Right on the sideline too, so it's going to be difficult to get that first throw off, but
It's a lot of deep panting going on at the moment. It's
Yep.
been a long point so far.
CAF call the audible and switch to a horror set. And
Steve finds space under. Great throw by Swan. Swan gets it back, middle of the field, just past the brick mark. Chodos. There's a lot of sky balls being put up. I think the nervous energy really hasn't settled yet in this game.
I think by this stage of a tournament, when you're playing the fourth game of the day, it's a mental fatigue can set in, and your decision making isn't quite as sharp as it was in the morning. So you tend to take more risks later in the day to try and sort of save your physical energy as well. So Murray with the disc now, looking just inboard, just for a reset to rock, but to rock, but CAF get another shot. This time about 15 from goal, centre field. Swan's got the whole end zone to shoot at and finds C.
I believe there's a call. There's a foul called. The stack is signalling a foul.
And Shen lost her footing there, just deciding if that's a result of any contact or whether.
Stack did signal foul. That's a discussion ensuing.
So a couple of perspectives being offered. A lot of players always willing to offer an opinion, but
Yes.
but for the people involved in the discussion, they're not obligated to listen to everyone.
Yeah, that's right.
They can ask for other opinions to help facilitate the discussion, but yeah, they can't agree on what was happening there. So I think that's the right outcome. I don't think there was sort of any clear indication of what actually happened there. So they've called contested foul. It'll go back to Swan.
Seems about right for mine.
Yeah, and they'll come in on installing 3. Again, we've just got both sides of the stack to shoot at.
Magni
Goes out wide.
strikes the open side with some ferocity. Marnie can't keep up. It's a great goal. Swan kept nice and patient there. Punched it in.
A couple of very lengthy points there. That's we're 23 minutes deep into the game with only 5 goals scored. That's definitely less pace of scoring we've seen compared to other games so far at this tournament.
Yeah, I think as you've mentioned, Simon, it's the fatigue of this is these teams' 4th game of the day. That's a lot of running, a lot of sprinting, a lot of changing direction, a lot of warming up, warming down, a lot of consuming liquids and food to keep your energy up. It's a trying day.
Just having to pay attention and focus on things for so long.
It's a real challenge. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard enough sort of maintaining focus and composure for a single 80-minute game, but total up all the minutes, including your warm-ups and warm-downs and team chats and everything. It's a long day. Teams have been here since 7:30 this morning. It's currently 6 o'clock local time.
It's been a long day for all of these athletes. As VLS gets ready to receive the pull for, I believe, the 2nd time this game.
So Hodgson designated puller for the D-line and Calf. We've seen a lot of pulls going upwind, drift towards his near side and end up out of bounds as it goes in the breeze, but teams account that just by keeping the pulls low instead and just landing them in.
Yeah, not trying to go the whole hog, not
Yeah.
trying to win pull of the year contest. Just hit a reasonable spot on the field because an out pull
That's
is a big advantage.
That's gonna,
Speak of the devil. So, as we know, Simon, an out pull results in the team receiving the pull, deciding whether they'd like to take the disc where it went out on the sideline or at the brick mark, as it's called in the middle of the field.
Yeah, so they can see 20 metres of gain, offensive gain. So it's advantageous for the offense to start from there. So
It's advantageous to land the pull in.
yes, great inside shot there, getting some good distance, and that's Bub there with the disc now. To
Shepherd, speed demon, back in the handler space.
Big call there too. As we saw just on the left there, both Josh Burns and Brieg crossed over pass there. So the defenders had to pull up to avoid a collision. Good safe play there.
Shepherd pivoting on his little wrapped up knee. Burns doesn't see anything he likes yet. So we've got Bub, back to Burns.
Great breakthrough. Another
Great
good
use
breakthrough.
of space there from VLS.
Puts it low.
And that'll do. Bub with the goal. Shepherd says, sorry, that was a bit of a worm burner. Thanks for helping me out.
Sorry to put it at your toes there, Shannon, but the scoring ugly's still scoring, and I think it's going to be a bit of a theme.
I think it's going to be a theme. I really hope the people tuning in can hear the onslaught of horns that we mentioned earlier. Every time a goal happens, is indeed very country footy.
Yeah.
Reminds me that we definitely are at home in Victoria. Us two commentators.
Yeah. Harken back to the childhood, making sure you get to the game early so you can be by the fence.
That's right.
Never park your car behind the goals, though.
Don't park your car. Why wouldn't you park your car behind the goal, Simon?
No, because footies are very heavy things, especially on wet days. And,
very heavy
and
things.
windscreens are expensive.
Windscreens are expensive. That is a fact. Copying a footy through the windshield is not ideal.
No.
Makes for an uncomfortable drive home regularly.
But VLS with a 2-goal lead, 4-2 currently. And we've seen very few timeouts used at this in live stream games today. Teams opting just to sort of, they've got big enough squads, we're just going to barrel through it. But each team's entitled to use 3 for the game, so potentially there's 6 timeouts to be used, but very rarely do we see all 6 used.
That's
So
right.
Ogden to restart. Hodgson playing both ways at the moment, playing both offense and defense, so getting it done. Huge flat backhand straight across the field, and Andy Wood milks that. What a goal!
That is very efficient offense. Why don't they do that every time?
Yeah, what have they been messing about this whole time for? That throw, I reckon that went more than 2.5 metres off the ground at any
Absolute
point.
maximum. Straight through the middle of the field.
Straight over the top of the stack, and
Yeah.
Forrest turned around to look and realised, oh God, that's right on top of me. I can't. Wasn't in any position at all to make
Can't
a bid
have
on it. And Wood just thought, well, if there's no bid on it, I'm gonna milk a few extra yards out of that. And just took the uncontested catch in the end zone. Yeah, so Forrest watched that go by.
There's a bit of a tired mark there, I think. Could have potentially stretched a bit more. As we have said, it's been a long day.
Yeah.
Not a huge deal of pressure on that throw, though, and that's M's bread and butter, I'd say.
Yeah.
Loves a huck. Hodgson, sorry.
Yeah, the game's been dominated by a handful of players on each team at the moment, so I think this is really going to come down to a test of depth, I think. The supporting players, the sort of 5th, 6th and 7th players on each line, just what they can offer in terms of defence and cutting options. So Hodgson, again playing, I think, almost the 4th consecutive point, at least the 3rd.
I believe it's the 4th.
Yeah.
And we're
Sends the
in.
ball up, puts way more angle at it to have it come down sharp and not land out of bounds, and I think that's going to be effective. Yep.
We're back with a mail point. Burns fakes, doesn't like what he sees.
Yep. And Kath able to get his pressure on before there's even a single pass given off.
Into a
There's
high
not
stall count,
much happening. Yeah, Shepherd. Shepherd playing very casually at the moment. Just
Club 2. This, I suppose when you start off with 2 breaks, you don't really need to fire up.
yeah. Shen O'Sullivan sends it deep, and
That's too much. If you're overthrowing Alex Shepherd, you're in trouble.
yeah.
Some sort of discussion.
A pick was called during the play, but O'Sullivan saying, "Nah, I threw that anyway. Shepherd was cutting anyway. That turnover will stand." Good spirit shown there by Sullivan to ensure that even though it was him that put the throw too far, he was had enough integrity to say, "No, that's the ruling. That's what should happen."
Very spirited man, that lad. Was the spirit director of the World Under-24 Ultimate Championships in Perth earlier this year. So called up for that gig. Had his hands full at that tournament at times, but he did a really good job.
Yeah. So I just want to start with this. We had a good look there at the offensive setup there from CAF. Very stock standard traditional. That was Haley Christie.
Julius Spragg back on the field after an earlier injury call. That's good to see.
This one's got a couple of deep options. He goes to
Flashes
Hodgson.
to the end zone.
It's floating up. And
Shepherd will take bite number 2, put it to the ground.
I think Burns felt like he'd done enough there, just getting a fingertip on it, but that's rarely the case. I overshoots Hollander, but Shepherd just cleaned it up. Completely unguarded, sends the backhand looking for Bub. Bub's going to run this down.
That is a sensational throw. Unlucky. Heard footsteps.
I think just milked it. I think was just thinking, if I can hang on for a second.
Maybe a bit too cute there. That's right.
Get into the goals, but
Shepherd had about 4 seconds to think about that huck.
yeah.
Thought about the shape of it. Launched it from the cannon. Pretty much in the breadbasket.
Yeah.
Didn't come up with the goods, unfortunately.
So Charles with the disc. Rob to Hollander on the mark. Playing with no reset behind the disc, so Charles just backing himself to get that throw, but
Puts it just behind C, unfortunately.
yeah, overdoes it. Just let go of it a bit too late, and there feels like there was another pick on the play, but I think they're just going to agree that that throw didn't really deserve a completion, and so it's just going to stay. But just making sure that all perspectives are offered, and I think, yeah, the turnover is going to stand. Yep.
So
O'Sullivan.
taps the ground to signify that play is back on.
That was garbage. O'Sullivan, hang your head.
Oh,
That was an ordinary throw, but the Hollander has made it look like
tell you what, I appreciated that that spike.
the attempted kick spike.
I bought all of it. I thought he was going to go for it, and then he's missed it at the last second.
I feel like I should get more excited over the Hollander's huge layup grab ahead of Chados there, but I was just that throw. That's
It's look, it's pus for want of a better term.
undisciplined. I'll leave it at that. But what have we said about 8 times today already, Cron? Scoring ugly is still scoring.
Scoring ugly is still scoring, and people are tired.
Yep. At this point of the day, just getting the goal, getting the catch inside the goal is good enough.
Floating a little pie into the end zone never really hurt anybody.
Yeah.
Give it a whirl. Sometimes it works.
And
Timeout called here.
Yep. I think that might have been CAF calling that timeout.
So Coach Max Heldon brings the team in for a little chit chat.
I think it's what happened there is I think both teams were opting for a timeout. So both teams actually wanted that timeout. But
they played chicken, I suppose, to see who was going to burn one. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that the game advisors had to then actually determine which team called it first. And
turns out it was CAF.
Yeah, so CAF get charged with the timeout. So, Kieran Hudson, coach extraordinaire. What would you be saying if you were CAF's coach right now? How would you be firing up the troops?
I would be. There's the thing you want to see as a coach when you are losing often is you want to see offense become more efficient, and as soon as you can make offense more efficient, which isn't an easy task, defense gets more of a crack, offense gets more of a rest. and you flow from there. So if I was Max, I'd probably be trying to simplify things, telling the troops to maybe calm the farm a bit. The buttery biscuits aren't always working. There probably doesn't need to be as many lashings every point. Potentially utilize the break side a little bit more because the throwers are capable, and build from there.
Yeah, I mean, if your cutters don't quite have the legs in them to win position just through sheer running, then you've got to just have the throws attack that break side where it's already to their advantage. So, yeah, typically VLS, they'll just be talking about just staying the course, that what they're doing is working. They're going to stand by it.
Yeah, that's a safe bet at this stage until they're challenged.
Yeah,
I'd say. I've seen several teams today play 3 or 4 women weaves on offense, so they've had the men get out of the way, get right out of the way, 50 metres back, and the women kind of weave the disc like they would in AFL, or netball has similar patterns as well, up the field with excess space.
yeah.
I'd like to see that from one of these teams, but they're very male dominated at the moment.
Ooh, I think just the women matchups are just so even. They're just so evenly matched that I don't think you could try and take advantage of a play like that. Like the defensive pressure from the women on both sides is just almost having a neutralising effect. And
Visor drops that one in the end zone. That's probably a reasonable point, Simon. But if things aren't working, you try different things to change your flow. But you could be right. I mean,
Christian Murray in the meantime, just getting a lazy old run through D just while we're blabbing on. So 2 turns each way, and Forrest directed a bit of traffic before he picks up the disc.
Visor in the dump space. Says you get out the end zone, son.
1, 2, 3 passes across to the open side, and yep, bit of traffic happening now, and Visor, and that was
that to me looked like it was dropped before he got touched.
Yeah,
good on him. Yeah, the ego hurts after 2 of them, but you gotta let that one go.
Yeah, Kevin Yuan, he was in the space. All he did was just sort of stick the glove out and thought, I've got a bit of this, but Visor, I think what he's arguing is that it was dangerous, and he's had to pull up basically to avoid a collision. So.
Potentially.
But
it's been left.
Yeah, I think they just need to take a breath, decide, because it can be very heated if you're in a situation like that. The bomb goes up from Rob Swan looking for C, all on her own, but Wood's there to help her out.
Boom. Yes, sir.
Catches it right on the goal line. She's got a one-on-one in the end zone. Doesn't like it though, so she'll turn backwards.
Rob wants it back.
Yuan.
And he's going to catch the goal. Oh.
And Andy Wood eventually gets it.
Thank you very much, friend, for having my back. I'm not sure who that was to be honest. But it was a great break throw.
Yeah. Found Andy Wood, but that throw from Swan. Wowee.
Yeah. That was a big boom.
Covered pretty much exactly 64 metres. Good composure by C too. She had a one-on-one to throw to and only had maybe a 3 second window to look at it, but she's decided, nope, can't do it, so I'm going to turn backwards and just keep the disc alive. And then that gave Andy Wood a chance to reset, cut again, and find space for the goal. So 5-4 now.
5-4. A little bit of a spirit discussion happening. Every team at competitive ultimate tournaments will elect at least 2 captains, one of which would be a spirit captain. During the game, if there's any spirit issues, anything regarding spirit of the game, they will discuss to make sure that both teams are on track and happy with each other's behaviour.
Yeah.
It's good to see. It's good to see discussions happening.
Yeah.
Making sure the correct channels are being used.
Yep. And we can see the spirit captains. It's off camera, but we can see the spirit captains on the sideline having that chat now and just clearing up any issues that have happened already, just so that people aren't sort of holding on to them, holding those mini grudges.
Yeah, no bottling. No bottling over here. Andy Wood to put the disc into play with the pull.
Yeah. In the meantime, we'll refocus on the on-field action.
Potentially out again.
I'm going to keep half an eye on that discussion and just sort of see if it gets resolved cleanly. It should do.
Out-of-bound pull again. Neither team really having a strong pulling game here. Josh Burns picks up the disc, spinning on the finger as leisurely as you like, having a look at the field, thinking about his options.
They've got a vertical stack, but they've isolated, I think that's Ross Smith out there on his own in a one-on-one. Oh, no, it's 2 isolations, so Smith and Smith all on his own. Why they left that? Oh, okay, they're defending the long shot, so VLS are going to have to work the unders here.
Again,
Hap very hectic on the mark.
an offense without a dump until just now.
Yeah.
And the huck goes up, and that won't do. As the disc rolls around in a circle.
Great effort there by Scenario to make a play on that. It was heading straight into the back of C. But Scenario thought, well, if I can maybe get the fingertip to it, let's see what happens. But instead,
said the tired bodies will go back the other direction.
Yeah.
Andy Wood to pick up the disc.
exactly.
A lot of huffing and puffing happening on the field now. Huge undercut from Hap. Finds him.
Oh no,
Oh, miscue. And Andy Wood bids for it. Doesn't come up with it. Has to get on. Straight onto defense. Josh Burns picks the disc up. Big fake. Andy bought all of it. Sell that man a car. And we've had a little collision. A little VLS.
Just dialing quickly back to that throwaway, I think he saw that he had two dumps and thought, well, if I just put this here, surely one of them's going to get it. But they both went upfield just as he let go of it, so...
I think a fake happened, and they both thought, I better move because I've been faked. So they did.
Yep, they both went, and Smith
with the disc.
been one of the more solid players of this team, and right as I say that, he puts it just...
That's a great effort there from Andy Wood. The bit on the mark, I really think that puts pressure in the mind of the person trying to catch the disc. That could have been the catalyst for that drop. It's VLS plays defense. A pick called. As the disc floated into Hap's hands. This is going back to Magni.
This has been a very, very interesting game. I'm glad we've got the pleasure of calling it. It's tense. It is very tense, but players are still maintaining their composure in the discussions that are happening.
That's right. I mean, what can we say? It is the Beverage Cup after all.
It's heaps at stake here. The imaginary trophy, who's going to check it into their hand luggage?
Which is the better beverage? I'm not a huge vodka fan, so I'd say coffee. Caffeine's pretty top notch.
Sort of a daytime beverage versus a nighttime beverage, I think. It's
depending on who you ask, definitely.
Yeah. And again, the throw was two cutters there, and I think they've both decided the other one's going for it. So Edgar stands, delivers, sends it looking for Scenario. Is she going to reel it in?
Big flick from Edgar there. Unfortunately, I don't think Scenario was expecting it, to be honest.
No.
There were two defenders on her. Edgar wanted to end the point as soon as she could.
Yep. Very impatient offense happening. I think Scenario gone deep, saw she was double covered, thought, all right, I'm going to turn and come under, but at the exact same moment, Edgar's gone, you look free, have some of this.
Have some of this. And Bella C will check the disc back into play. Changed their handlers back there. Weren't happy with what was going on. Andy Wood in the space directly in front of the disc, and he gets it, launches it straight upfield. Is that going to stay in? It does. Magni with the read. Three defenders on him. And he says, that's for my bread basket. I'll put that one away. A few high fives and a smile.
That was cold as ice. He had players bearing down on him. Didn't change his position, didn't change his run. Just backed himself to take it high. Had position ahead of Josh Burns. And nice.
We're all tied up now for the first time in the game. Cats got themselves back in this.
Yep.
A lot more juju and energy happening from those bodies over there in the black now.
Good safe play by Burns there. He could have just pulled up knowing that Magni had beaten him for position and thought there's no way he can have. If he has to keep this bid safe, he has to back off and just try and come over the top. But no, excellent spirit there. So spirit's more than just about how you compose yourself in the discussion. It's about the choices you make while playing as well. Just making the choice. Look, I can't make a safe bid on that, so I won't.
Yeah, it's every player's obligation to avoid contact pretty much at all costs.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna go for a play that endangers anyone else, including yourself, it's frowned upon.
Yeah, it's best just to realise you've been beat. Just let it happen. So 10 goals scored, we're over halfway in time, which has gone quickly.
It has gone quickly.
I sort of looked at this game.
Relatively low-scoring game.
Just went to glance at the clock thinking, oh yeah, we're about half an hour in, but no, we're approaching 45 minutes, so 35 minutes of play left. And you'd assume that we'll make half, so one team will get to 8. So we've probably got about maybe 25 minutes of live play remaining.
In this game, VLS comes out in a vert again. Calf in a very loose, what I think is a pommy zone, a containment zone.
One at the front, then a wall of 3, but
2 wings and a deep. Its sort of zone is for containment of offensive patterns and rhythms. As
good swing pass.
O'Sullivan finds the other side of the field. Cup's very tired and lagging. There's a lot of gaps in it.
Yeah.
Don't think Scenario has the throws to hit there. Finds one upfield.
Edgar. She's going to go over the top. Look at this. Straight to Shepherd, all on his own.
Ripping hammer. Shepherd will pop this one in, you'd think.
No, he's holding on to it. He's taking his time. He knows that as long as the disc is in VLS's hands, they're in control of the game. And O'Sullivan at the back hits Scenario.
He's happy with himself at that.
He enjoys that.
He's thinking, where are the horns? They were here 10 minutes ago. They've gone to sleep.
Yeah. Goes some way to redeeming that high release backhand a couple of points ago, but no, excellent spot up of Scenario. Just found the space at the back all on her own, and so the line advisor Michael there keeping a close eye on where her feet landed, where the first contact with the ground was, and well and truly inbounds. Nice
point hammer.
Nice quick point compared to what we usually we've been seeing all game. So it's 6-5 to VLS.
Well spotted, Simon. Yeah, there's been. I'm not sure if there's been another point without multiple turnovers.
Yeah, it's I wouldn't be surprised if we see a couple of quick fire goals from both teams now. I think that
charging for half. Yeah,
trying to sort of get that halftime break and get that advantage into half. So it's so VLS would love to hold a lead going into half because they'll start on offense after half, regardless of how the last goal is scored. So if they can take a 1 or 2 point advantage into half, they can very quickly become a 2 or 3 goal advantage.
On the other side of it, yeah.
By then, we won't have long to go. Bennett with the pull. That's a great pull.
That's a great pull. As we come in on CAF offense, we got 4 men on each team at this point. Swan moves the disc to Yulia. Spragg looking for Nesco under. She's covered. Chodos finds the disc.
Not a lot happening upfield. Rob had to create something from the hand position. Looks at Kevin Yuan and Bennett there to make a contest of it. Goes up high and gets it.
Yuan sat a bit for that one. If he had gone a touch earlier, Bennett would have had a sniff without a foul, but he just hesitated. And Bennett comes up with a clean, excellent block, well tracked, well chased.
Bennett went up to the left hand there, which is difficult to do for a right-hander.
Left hand without being able to see the disc as well, I think. I think he just had a swat and he caught it cleanly. So, caught the disc cleanly.
So, Rock will start with the disc 64 from goal. VLS is starting with a classic vertical stack. Nothing happening with the cuts. Fisher Day finds some space. Sends the backhand up. Doesn't come out clean. Winchester versus Swan.
Catches it strongly out in front. It's a stern grab. Finds Omani in the end zone.
Yep. Had only eyes for Omani to spot the multiple players streaking past him. He thought, no, I'm just going to pick out one receiver.
And I'm going to hit him. And the Corkman gets himself a tasty goal.
Great catch by Winchester there on that long shot. We see the replay there. Just the throw. Copped a little cheeky contact on the throw, but I think Swan acknowledges and goes up. Sorry, mate, that was on me. But nevertheless, Winchester played through it. He's a big lad, Bryce Winchester. Just
broad.
Takes a bit to knock him off balance, but
he's come along. He's really come along, that gentleman.
He's got a couple of years under the belt already, but still quite young. I think he's 22, 23, around there, and
sounds about right.
Yeah.
Started at
bright future.
USyd, I believe, University of Sydney.
Nice.
The ultimate scene there. University, great way to get many Australians playing the old uni game circuit.
VLS seem very, very animated on their toes. This is the big point that they want to win. If they can take a 3-point advantage going into half, but
Could be a look at a 4 out on the other side of half, as you said before, Simon.
Yep.
So they are fired up for this point, it seems.
Yep. They're on defensive pressure already. All the cuts coming towards Ogden. He doesn't like it.
There's a lot of space under this horizontal stack.
Oh.
Spins off both players, off the chest and back into the hands.
Ends the lap. Hodgson sends
Hodgson
it deep.
wants to end the point.
Ogden, what are you doing in the end zone?
Yeah,
Watching it go over your head.
Watching
That's
it
what's
go over
happening.
his head, yeah. That's unfortunately too much sauce for Ogden. Any less would have been blocked anyway. So I'm not sure what that option was.
It's
going to be brutally honest.
It's a good little surprise play you can do sometimes. Is the deep cut from the handler.
Yeah.
Can catch defenses unaware, but maybe 5 years ago Ogden would have pulled that off.
Yeah, maybe.
No, he's an excellent player, Sam Ogden.
Played a number of years with Colony after moving from Adelaide to Sydney.
Yeah.
Saw a good amount of success there. Of late, he's kind of drawn an end to his competitive opens career, men's career, and it's back for this Mixed Nationals campaign with CAF. As we see a stoppage called.
Yeah, travel call on Bennett there. VLS working it very good. Their stack is very deep, so most of their players are more than. They've got those 2 players in close, but everyone else is about 25 metres away, so there's going to have to be some undercuts here. And here we go, Tamas.
Tamas sails over her head, straight through the hands. She's thinking they got holes in them. Goes to Wood. C with the disc, looking for something.
Looking deep, straight through the middle. Look at that, what
That's
a cut.
a lovely slicing break.
Natalie Mormer, where did Bennett come from?
Bennett.
He came from nowhere.
Looks a little bit like a Tony Castrignano from this angle, to be honest. Bennett with a swat away block.
Yeah. Bennett completely unmarked. I think they're just sort of letting him free. Oh, yeah. Hodgson's just sitting deep, preventing the deep shot, and just letting Bennett.
Hodgson doesn't feel like playing real defense.
Yeah.
So he's just going to. He's taken someone now. He's still sitting in the deep space.
No stall count on Forrest. He's going to take all his time. It's CAF content just to let them take undershots, but Tamas finds Bennett now.
I think this could be the half here.
Yeah.
Not sure CAF can generate enough pressure for a block out of this one. They seem tired.
Shen unmarked
Look
again.
for the
Takes her time.
Tamas almost bobbled that one. Shoots to the mister. It's a honey pass.
And
Pick
Forrest.
called. It's going to have to go back. I believe the pick may have been called on Forrest.
Yeah. No.
Wood has signalled a goal.
Yeah. Wood
They
withdraws
called it a
the
goal.
ball. So
Got ourselves a half time.
yep. So the ruling on pick is that you have to be closely following, and I think that so the pick happened in the stack, but Wood saying no, didn't affect that play. Goal stands.
I was going to get burnt anyway.
Yep.
My legs are gassed.
So VLS take a late half, but half nonetheless. They've held an 8-5 lead. We're going to take a break for a couple of minutes, and we'll be back with the conclusion of the game.
if we're ever in a situation where we're not rolling out a certain sort of cultural circus, then we're not doing our job properly.
Start second half. Simon Tolbert here with Cron Hudson. The second half, and Hap.
Huge run
Chance
through
for a
block.
D. I'm loving this Hap versus Smith battle. I think Hap's got the upper hand at the moment, and it looked like Caff could take first strike in the second half, and Hodson trying to be a bit cheeky there. He got fouled by De Hollander on the way through. De Hollander, uncontested, so yep, definitely.
I believe it's a strip call though, so he's trying to call a goal.
Yeah, right.
He might be saying, the opposition saying he wasn't in.
Yeah.
Hap, in my opinion, needs to continue to get the better of Smith if they want to win this game.
Yeah.
Ideal start, though, for CAF to the second half.
Yeah.
Looking at potentially starting instead of starting with a 9-5 out of the blocks with an 8-6 is much more attractive.
Great little 1-2 from Chodos and Hodgson there to open up the gaps. And Hap,
He wants Hap.
Hit him,
He
do
wants
it.
Hap.
Oh, not in there.
Hap, why
Not
are
in
you not
goals.
inside of the end zone? You had one job.
Oh, it's only the end zone though, but goes short to Hodgson. Oh, they got a finger to that.
Floppy fish into Hodgson's lap. Chodos with the burners and the bounce back.
Yeah.
You love to see that. This handler movement.
Hodgson just trying to control traffic and the disc, but it's a lot to do. Chodos goes around into the lap of
Julia Sprague. I think it may have bounced off the turf. Have to have a look at it. They're having a discussion. Edgar and Sprague.
Just having a nice old chat. Edgar.
Potentially also an injury. She's kind of... Sprague seems to be not getting off the deck.
Yep.
She's hugging the disc like she's happy.
Yeah.
She's all right. She just wanted to rest.
Maybe have a second look at this if just while they're having a discussion.
See a few hands with a few players with hands spread out there, saying they have an opinion.
Yeah.
Not jumping down the throat of.
We have a look there, and
yeah, that's questionable for mine. That seems like the ground helped her catch that. And if you, as you know, Simon, if you do not stop rotation of the disc before it hits the ground, it is deemed a turnover.
Yeah. Of course, the players don't have the ability to see a replay. We do, so whatever we say doesn't really have an effect.
Same as all these other players with their hands out. It's been deemed a turnover. I think that's the right result. Egg's going to pick up the disc. Sprague.
Yeah, I think the line advisor on the far side had a great view of it, and I think that once their opinion was considered, I think that sort of helped the discussion. To Hollander, turns, stands, delivers.
High stall count, absolutely launches one out of the cannon. And
Shed, where have you come from? Oh!
Bella C did not know that person was coming.
Krista Shan, that closing speed. She's thrown everything at it, and I think that she's going to come off second best from that collision with the ground. But Bella C thought this was covered, but
interesting. Bella C is not considered to be a slow athlete, so this chase down, this effort.
We've been watching Shen earlier in the day. She put in some kilometres. Her pedometer will be well over 20,000 steps by now for the day. Should she was wearing one, but she's caught the injury, but not to go off the field. I think she just that was a great bid, but the old soccer goalie layout landing on the hip.
Potentially also may have landed out, whether she called that or not.
Yeah,
but it was a great effort.
Fantastic bid, and she was, when that throw went up, I think she was about maybe at least 40, 45 metres away from, at the end zone on 55 metres away from that. And to make up that speed while the disc is in the air, that was an incredible effort. So Hodgson to restart, 64 from goal.
Back in with another sticky kind of vert stack. Doesn't seem to be getting much flow off this at all, Kath. Chodos hits the break out to Hodgson.
There's deep cuts aplenty. Everyone's just sort of starting under and there's charging deep. There's not many undercuts happening.
There's a lot of lateral cutting happening as well, Simon. So you see some people actually, Chodos went there to set up a legitimate deep cut, and
Chodos has gone for Sprague there, but just went over her head. Wasn't a very tidy throw. Shen, after recovering from that fantastic bid before,
finds herself with the disc, hits Burns under. These are some tired bodies out here.
Yep.
That's not going to work.
No, that throw. That's
throwing it over a 7-foot person.
Yeah,
that's a mistake.
That was fatigue. Just didn't have the power of the legs to step out and pivot. Just tries to go over the top instead, and
not happy with himself after that one. Jay Burns.
No.
He's marking up again on Chodos on the dump. See if we can get some crisper cuts over from this calf offense. It's a lot of single direction cuts happening.
Here we go. Hap's gone. That's going.
Smith's going to get that.
Yep.
Great block.
Good clean block by Smith.
Great contest. Yeah, there's a lot of cuts happening, but they aren't being set up. So the players on calf aren't cutting deep and then under or under then deep. They're wanting to run one direction, and it seems that when someone does step up and make an excellent cutting pattern, they're cut off by lateral cuts, which is not what you want to see in a vertical stack. The idea is to utilize the space, which is where the people aren't. So to move up and down fast is the easiest and most efficient way to find yourself with the frisbee.
Burns sides up to Honda. Honda's off. It's put to his advantage. Can he get there? Go, son, go! No.
That was a bit of a stretch.
I think De Holland decided 35 metres ago that he's not getting that.
You know what? To his credit, he still put in the effort.
Absolutely.
Oh, at least he convinced me he put in the effort. So
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
I think he...
And the timeout. The veteran Hodgson does probably the clever, but not what I wanted to see manoeuvre, and calls a timeout.
Yeah.
It's pretty selfish behaviour, to be honest.
Some tired bodies out there, Cron.
A few of them hit the deck already. They're down. Sitting down.
It's fourth game of the day, and there's a lot of energy went into the early points of this game, and I think that some players, they're even out of adrenaline. Can't even run off fumes anymore. The tank is just empty. So
it's also I think the factor. I mean, the fields here they're excellent coverage, but they're not the softest. So it's tough on your joints as well. And so when your muscles are all aching, you've been working hard, and your voice hurts and your throat hurts, you're lacking that adrenaline, as you say, Simon, and then your joints hurt as well. Your ankles and your knees. It's hard to dig yourself out of a hole. And I think this is a very important point now. After this timeout, Cats back on offense. If they happen to score this, as I said, it's 8-6. VLS could see this slowly swept from underneath them potentially. So this is a very important point, and it's going to be telling.
it wouldn't take much to spark either team, I think. It could just be a big play. It could be an important point, a big defensive block or a big layout goal. Could just be enough. Just to give them that extra, they only need another maybe 15, 20 minutes of spark. They don't need much.
That's all they need to get over the line. And in terms of this point, both teams have been on the goal line.
Yeah.
Pretty much. It's just that extra bounce, that extra pivot, that extra little bit of effort. The 1%ers, as they say in football, that'll get you that goal inside what we call the red zone, the last third of the playing field proper.
This shot's going to go early. The way they're set up, Edgar's smart.
Edgar has sussed this out very early.
Edgar has set herself up about 15 metres deep of all colours.
Left Spragg completely free on this close wing over here.
Yeah, but Hodgson's seen that and gone, oh, I cannot do that.
He's gone, bugger this, I'm going to have to dump it. This is terrible news. Spragg gets hit open under. As I said, Edgar was poaching off her. Made her way slowly to her, though, by the time she caught the disc. C with the disc stripped as she went to pivot. So that'll go back.
I reckon Caff had a great set play out of it, but Edgar's just gone, nah, well, I'm going to deny that. And immediately I had to abandon the play. So other than the 2 minutes rest it's bought them, that timeout, not effective.
Not effective.
Yeah. It could have been, like, yes, it's a good mental reset for them, but...
it's just, as you said, Simon, Edgar was all over it. She knows M.
She knows smart player.
Mr. Hodgson very well. Everyone in this game knows M by now, wanting to lash these big plies to the end zone, and she said, no, not on my watch. You're going to have to do something better than that. A pick called in the stack. Have another stoppage. They can all have another breather. Probably thankful for.
And picks happen because like we were talking about, just that straight line cutting before, players will just sort of come straight through the stack or straight out of the stack, and of course a lot of traffic happening is where potential collisions are, so that's why a lot of stoppages occur.
That's right, and as Ultimate is a high-speed sport, considered pretty high speed, as opposed to basketball where picks are allowed and part of the tactics, they are very much not allowed in this sport. You must avoid picking.
I'm enjoying this Hodgson-De Hollander battle. De Hollander's he's containing Hodgson. He's really not letting him do what he wants. Hodgson sends it flat.
Does what he wants.
Does what he wants.
Sends it.
And Chodos to Spragg.
Questionable throw. It worked. And Zach turns around and acknowledges that it wasn't the best, but it worked.
Yep.
And here we go, 8-6. This could be the start of a comeback. That's what we want to see. We want a nice, tight game.
That was not tidiest of throws, but Chodos, he started that cut from the handle position. Just like, well, if no one else is going to do it, I'm going to do it.
That's right. And then it came in very bladey. He wasn't going to go with that, with anything other than a schnappy das kleine crocodile.
That was good by Spragg. I think Spragg might have been the sort of secondary target, if that makes sense. I think he just thought, well, I've got two deep, so I'm just going to peg it. But Spragg saw Chodos coming and thought, well, I'm going to keep going. And it forced the defender to have to choose one of them. And, of course, that also left her open for the goal. But rather than coming in towards the disc and, potentially squandering that chance, she did very well to sort of go, all right, I'm setting up for the next one, and Zach's got that.
It's interesting as these players are are so tired and everything's aching and the adrenaline's lacking and decisions take a lot out of your energy as well.
Yep.
It depletes the ability to make further decisions with ease, and so making players choose like that and having them kind of not come up trumps, it's disheartening. And VLS going to be pretty keen to punch this offense point in. Andy Wood with a pull.
It could be a nice sort of crisp offense from VLS, like about sort of 6-7 passes.
That's
bang,
got
bang,
some,
bang.
That's got some hate on it, that pull.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Sullivan leaves it rather than tries to catch it and spends some time chasing his tail. Edgar. Bar ball on her own, but she goes
Doesn't seem to be
inside.
much movement. I thought there was a pick called.
Shepherd. He's got scenario 20 metres deep all on her own, but no, she's caught up. She's going to come under. Scenario's putting in the work.
Unorthodox fake by Shepherd just then.
Gets rewarded, Edgar. All players are within 20 metres of the disc. They're all streaming deep now.
Bob with the disc. Lots of undercuts happening at the same time. That doesn't look very attractive.
Yeah.
Throws it just behind Edgar. And Edgar kind of helps it to the ground. Magni with the pie. Lashes it straight away. And Andy Wood says, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll take that one. Here we come. And now suddenly we're 8-7. Cap is absolutely in this game now. This is some exciting ultimate.
Yep. Andy Wood. Yeah, I was going to say the layout felt gratuitous, but I think he had to leave his feet to get two hands to it. He could have just gone for the one hand and just stick the mid out and hope for the best, but got two hands to it, but hits the ground hard. And like we said, that the bigger they are, the harder they fall. And I reckon that if he was 3 inches taller, he'd be dead. He's took that landing very hard, but great catch, great controlled catch.
He stepped up when he needed to.
Yep.
And now we see ourselves with a real ball game here.
Yep.
It's going to be interesting to see how tight the lines get from here on out. It is very late in the piece. We've got less than 9 minutes left of play on the game clock. So we could see some shorter rosters happening now.
So what will happen when we get to 80 points? 80 minutes is that the current point in play will finish, and then the score cap will be reduced from 15 down to whatever the current highest score is, +1. So
you must score to win.
Yep. You have to score the last goal to win. You cannot just run the clock down and hold the lead. You have to score the last goal to win the game.
As we see, O'Sullivan doesn't want to chase his tail again, puts his foot to that one. Back on offense with Edgar as the dump.
There's a lot of time to look at it. And
Very open
gone.
dump. Edgar's just waiting for the disc.
Yeah. Shepherd, he's got eyes for Shepherd and no one else. Shepherd
wants to lash it though as well. That's the problem. He should be cutting deep. That boy is fast. There's that pie again over the stack. That's a bit nicer than before, but it's still pretty filthy.
Serves hot and fresh.
Day with the disc. Hits. Oh, there's an injury called.
Yep. One just...
he may have been trodden on, or he may have rolled his ankle.
Looks like a cramp to me.
Looks like a cramp.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's just tired. You can't really... No, he's not tired. He's got a cramp.
Yeah.
That's not on calling injury when you're tired.
Yep.
Steps onto the field, hoping that there'll be a block so he can lash it back the other direction.
Needs a few more electrolytes, but...
Needs a bit of pickle juice.
Yeah. So, what's O'Sullivan going to throw here? I can see him heading towards this near side. And I reckon Shepherd, drift out the back. There we go, bang. And the flow is stemmed. VLS.
So
9-7.
With that one punched in, Cat's going to have to find another little crevice of energy.
Yep.
To pull themselves from this 2-point deficit.
I mean,
and I believe there's a timeout. Looks like a timeout.
Yep.
Being called.
They're going to have to. Yeah, they're going to have to hold on to this offensive point, and ideally without any turns, and basically put VLS back on the back foot to try and have to win this game. So, see the nice little control backhand. Shepherd.
Elevates.
I don't think we've seen 100% of Shepherd yet. I think
I think he's giving less than 100% of stuffs. Yeah, He doesn't give all the stuffs at the moment.
He's very much a big game player. We'll see. Should VLS be in the factor in the conversation on Sunday, we'll see a lot out of him then. But if VLS are going to comfortably win this game, he needs to be a lot more involved. And they did isolate him through the stack, but he was content just to take unders then. But I think even if they did get it to him deep, there was not going to be many continuation cuts happening.
It could be telling of also his, not his faith in the throwers, but the fact that he's probably thinking to himself, yeah, well, you know what, Ash? I kind of do want to catch the goal, but also I'd prefer to throw it. I think I might be the better option at that. Who knows? So, Caf's juicing themselves up now. I'd like to see a little bit more of Laura Manescu involved in the back end of this game. A little spicy firecracker. Could set things off with a cheeky bid. Max Madney trotting onto the field.
I think who I want to see more of is Priscilla Scenario. Her work rate these last 4 or 5 points has been unmatched on the field. She's the only player on the field really extending out her cuts, going 30 metres deep, 30 metres under.
For the VLS squad completely. Yeah, I agree.
She's on the bench now, but she'll 100% be back on the field should VLS be back on offense. Back on defense.
So we've got the gender enforced here is 4 men on the field, 3 women.
Yeah.
As
Forrest with the pull here.
Forrest with the pull. Ogden, hopefully it stays like this. Seems to be playing that game where you pat your head and rub your stomach at the same time. Having a little scratch, puts his hand up, ready to receive the pull.
Yeah, they're taking every second available to them to wait for the pull. And of course, they got 75 seconds, I think, to signal readiness.
75 seconds to signal readiness. That's correct, Simon. Another out pull.
Yeah,
guys, you have one job. You are. I suppose you're slowing the game. That could be a tactic at this stage from VLS. The out pull could be a tactical play, but
I doubt it.
Yeah, I do doubt it. I'm giving them.
Beyond that idea, I struggle to think of an advantage.
Yeah, I think I'm being a bit too polite there. Stop pulling it out of the field, Martin Linus.
Here we go. They've isolated LSC here. And under.
Ogden.
Why go under?
Hits C under. Looking for Chodos. Chodos with a little Jimmy shimmy. He wishes.
No deep cuts at all. They're all under.
Magni follows that one over his head. This
no
is
one within 10 metres of him.
Very deep stack, and that is a miscue, and that's a turnover. This could be the game, really. This could be the end of their charge. They really want to get this one back.
Bennett unmarked. Throw whatever he wants. Throws it backhand. Murray.
Magni's found Bennett now. They seem to be matched up. Let's see if we can get some fire out of these tired calf players.
Again, the stack's very deep. Cuts are just not coming. Here we go. Bit more action here.
Bit more action. Bounces off the hands and it's out of bounds. Right. Off the hands, off the fingertips there.
I mean, Calf just had nothing happening in the stack, and the throwers just had nothing to throw. They thought, all right, let's try and be creative with the throws.
Yeah. So if I was Chodos here,
bomb it.
I'd be bombing it. I'd be considering changing the handler. I'd say maybe Ogden, you set the stack. Let's get Andy Wood as my dump. Andy, run straight to the end zone from the dump space.
Yep. Looks to LSC. Dishes Ogden. No one's deep.
No, he's going to lash it. Magni wants it. He's pointing up above his head. He wants a pie. It's going to come. I can feel it.
I can't feel it. Warmer.
In the words of The Weeknd and Daft Punk, I feel it coming. Here it goes.
Here we go. Sends a foot. Look at Eddie Wood. Forrest. Picks it off.
Picks it off. He says, "I'll have that in the bread basket. Thank you very much."
And straight off the reset, there was a pick. Oh man, alive! That possession. We knew the shot was coming. It was just who's it going to come from? Who's it going to come to?
Who is going to be the most frustrated and/or the best cutter?
Yep. It looks like Magna fulfilled both those criteria, and Forrest will restart. Unmarked, but Wood quick to recover. Julia Lamb.
Back with Julia Lamb. That's not going to be good enough. That's a bit bladey, unfortunately.
Yeah, probably
Bennett probably, in the opening points of the game, he would have bid for that.
Yep, good decision.
Great decision.
Right throw to make, but yeah, just didn't put enough on it.
Yeah, unfortunately poor execution. So Ogden will pick up the disc again. Let's see if Chodos does what was suggested here from the dump space. He is being forced upfield by the defender there, as you see. Ogden.
Deep cuts are happening now.
And he's going to the end zone.
Julianne Lamb gets a finger to it, but Natalie Morman's able to chase that down. But Calf there, they are deep. They are miles away from the disc.
Ogden has launched it to Chodos.
Numbers under.
That's going to work.
Chodos, what a grab. He's got 2 options, doesn't take either. He's got no stall count, but he goes over the top to Eddie Wood.
Neither of the defenders went to the cutter. And Visor, not happy, kicks some imaginary object about an inch in front of his body and says, That's not on.
I think assumptions were made by the defence.
Assumptions were
I
made.
think they're assuming that we've got this covered, but yeah, both are left flat-footed as Wood barely just had to shuffle to the corner. So Chodos, he threw nothing. See, have a look at the replay there. We've got two guys. They say, yep, we've got both of those covered, but then yeah,
Chodos is
they both
cool
looked to
as
the
a cucumber.
They both looked to the right. Wood went to the left, and Chodos just, yep, chucked it over the top. And as soon as that throw went off, Forrest, he didn't have to turn around. He knew what had happened.
So we're at the 79-minute mark.
Yep,
It's 8-9. I would say M. Hodgson is going to play the rest of the points of this game.
Yep. So this point, so as we tick down to 80 minutes, so those not familiar with how time cap rules work, so you won't hear a siren or a whistle or anything, but the game advisors will note that time cap is being completed. This point will be played out, and then the new score cap will be determined. So there's at least 2 points to be played.
That's it. So we have
Possibly 3.
very little time left.
Possibly
in this
4.
game. Possibly 4.
Possibly 4. Maybe 4. Unlikely 4. But mathematically, can happen. Calf, if they get the block here, that will just make it immediately sudden death. So VLS still very much in the box seat.
Burns with the pickup to Rock. She gives it back. Shepherd over here unmarked. Currently, M Hodgson walking to the mark. Doesn't give many.
No cuts coming
at
under.
the moment. Doesn't give too many.
All cutters, they're set up deep and cutting under. I think they're expecting.
They're expecting a pie.
Yeah.
And the almost hand block from Chodos.
Kaffa
Almost good enough.
Kaffa just giving up cuts towards the disc. They just do not want the deep shots to happen. Barb here. Oh, winds up, it goes short to
Squeezing
Smith.
it right down the sideline. This is getting tight. Burns finds himself very open, and that could be it.
Goes in the middle. Oh,
This is
that's 10-8 to VLS. So officially, game 2-11. Smith, probably the best on for mine. He has been amazingly consistent. And Burns, that was a great shot into. Who was that into? I'm not sure. That was Christina.
wasn't
Shen.
Shannon Bubba. Was it?
Nah, Shen, I think, was the goal in the end. Yeah. Yeah, Scott Burns, I think, had one last deep cut in him. He's got it. And yeah, great inside break. Great throw, nice and balanced.
So it seems, unless Cat can muster some magic here, some sort of big wave of.
So Calf need to go 3 in a row.
3 in a row to win this game. Otherwise, VLS are going to take home the coveted beverage cup again.
The beverage cup, the mythical, the intangible beverage cup.
Which would be just a travesty for CAF.
Yep.
As Minescu's called onto the line late, little Laura Minescu. I haven't seen a huge deal of her this game.
Yeah. CAF actually come into this game with a winning record 2-1 and VLS are 1-2. So this would actually put both teams on 2-2 in their pool.
It's a spicy pool happening.
A lot at stake right now.
Bennett with the pull. Launches this one from hip height. And that'll hit the middle of the field on Swan's chest. And I wonder if this is going to be a big old pie.
Oh, when he's off.
Here's
off. That's gone.
That is a pie. And I want it to work.
Bennett's working to get under it. Oh, no!
Oh, he only hit him in the hand, Simon.
Yuan did everything right, but just couldn't clasp it at the last second. He's called a foul.
And it...
Yeah, like...
uncontested.
Okay, no. He, yep, so Bennett, we saw on the replay there, Bennett actually got him in the knee and pushed him sort of out of in the air. Inadvertently, of course. No malice to it at all. So, yeah, the contact very clearly affected the catch there. So, Ben will get it right on the goal line.
Dump defenders here. Oh, no.
The throw's gone up. The pick was called, but the pick gets withdrawn.
Unfortunately for CAF, I don't think that's that young man's throw often. So it sailed over Minescu's head.
Yep. Did well to step out and break the mark, but just angle the disc too high.
Angle the disc, release point potentially too high as well.
Yep.
Sailed over the head. So CAF turns it over. VLS looking to finish this game, potentially with a 3-point lead.
Yeah.
Bennett charges under.
Oh, straight into the hands.
Catches it straight into his lap.
UN wants Hodgson. There
Wants
we
it
go.
again. This time
Tidier.
works.
Much tidier backhand that
just
time.
inside the line.
Yep.
So here we are, 10-9.
10-9. And so those of us following the tournament, so immediately after this game, we'll have probably around about a two-minute break as the production guys cringe at me saying that. Yep, we're straight to the next game, guys. So the showcase game for tonight, Ballarat versus Hills, coming up very soon. This game running overtime, so that's why if you've tuned in to watch that game, you're still seeing VLS versus CAF. So that game will be coming up next on the Ultimate Frisbee Australia YouTube channel. But in the meantime, potentially 3, potentially 2, potentially 1 point to play.
This is up to CAF,
So-
how many points there are to play, I suppose.
Yep.
How much do they want it? How much do they want the beverage cup?
Ooh, they have stacked this line.
Yep, so we see
Sprague, Wood, Hodgson,
Christie,
Chodos.
C, and Magni.
Magni.
So there's what, 1, 2, 3, 4 Australian reps on the CAF line, and for VLS we have, from what I can see, 3. We've got Edgar, Shepherd,
Wire, Shem, Smith's the key to this game. I'm telling you, Ross Smith.
sorry, 2. I thought Forrest was on that line. So we only have 2. We have a Dingo and we have a Firetail.
Yep.
Most recent
That pull's
appearances
gonna,
for those 2. Another outpull? Just.
Yep.
What is going
Yep.
on? Come on, team. This is. I mean, you know, we always complain about the footy teams not being able to stick it through the big sticks. Why don't they get down to training, just kick a bag? You need to get down to training, lads, ladies and gentlemen, and we need to be throwing some pulls. You got a big target and you can't hit it.
So what's the set here? What do they set? Hodgson is just sitting 30 metres deep of anyone.
He's hiding.
Yep.
To be honest, I didn't notice him. If I'm going to be honest.
He is just blocking this long shot.
Edgar with the disc. It looks.
Here we go. Smith. Completely unmarked. Take your time, mate. Take your time.
If they keep hitting the poached player, which is very doable, this is going to be a very easy and
Day,
quick
all on his
point.
own. Burns is gone.
That's it. That's the game.
And there we go. Well played there by VLS to exploit that poaching defence. And VLS retained the Beverage Cup.
Retain the beverage cup, and
Another tight game.
they'll be keen for some water and some food, I'd say. You know, another tight game. Very tired. We're now at 7:15 p.m.
Yep.
Some of these players would have been here for almost 12 hours now.
Yep. But well-deserved win by VLS in the end. The better team on the day. Some brilliant play, especially from Shannon Bubb, Ross Smith and Alex Shepherd and Dylan Bennett. Some great defence as well. And for CAF, best players of the day, Emma Hodgson getting it done, playing most of the points. And we also saw some terrific play from Natalie Morma, getting open a lot. Julia Sprague, Alice C, Andy Wood as
made
well.
some good plays.
Yep. And Magni with a few clutch moments as well. So, Kieran Hudson, thanks very much for joining us. Simon Talbot here, and we're going to wrap up this game, and we'll come back shortly with the showcase game. Thanks for joining us.
Peace out, homies.